Hello people, here we are again. So I'm back at Fenland Fisheries, but not on the Vermuyden lake that you've seen me previously fish. So I'm on the bigger lake called Willow. Most people know it in the carp world. Everyone's probably fished here at some point in their life. It's a beautiful little quiet lake, probably 5 to 10 acres. It varies in depth from anywhere from 10 to 12 to 14 to 16 foot. Sort of ups and downs in different pegs. Got some nice little plateaus in it, deep margins, shallow margins, reed lines, bit of everything. Nice. Got a decent amount of 30s in it, good head of 20s in it. I think it might have 140 in it at the moment. So happy days. There's still a big gal to go at, you never know, the 4-0 could be on the cards. And it feels good to be back down here actually. Like I say, the spring weather's finally kicking in, and yeah, it feels good. And I'm here and I'm excited as hell, and I've got 2 nights, so happy days. And when I get sorted out, I'm going to give you guys a little look around, and for those people who haven't seen it, I'll run you through a few of the pegs. For now, I'll see you then. Hey guys, here we are. So I sorted a bit of the kit out and got the rods in, and I promised you that little look about, didn't I? Pegs are very spacious here at Willow. This is a peg I fished a couple of years back. Wrong way. For a few sessions through the winter. There's about 7 fish out of it, nothing over 30 though. But yeah, good peg. Peg 9 this is. Sadly, I can't walk any further down there because those 2 pegs are occupied. So I'll walk you back down here where I've set up camp, or setting up camp should I say. So it's pretty busy tonight. Well, it's fully booked. They don't let more than 7 on at a time, and there's 7 on. So here's peg 8. This is the actual water I'm fishing. I'm actually fishing peg 8's water from peg 7. Just because it's a bit tight for your bivvy down there. Still, and there's plenty of space in between us. There's a couple of pegs up. So yeah, I thought rather than cramming into this little tight peg, peg 7 just up here is a lot more spacious. And everyone likes a bit of comfort and space when we come fishing, don't we, eh? So obviously look, I've had a little doodle about, got bits and pieces still laying about. So rather than getting the house up first, as the weather's so glorious, I decided to get the rods in first. Happy days, eh? And there you go. So this is where I am. I'll step back and try and lift it up a touch. Bit more spacious. Not a lot in it, but there's a bit in it. Let's head down here. Oh, so there we are. There's the rules, peg 7. And the rules. I have the rules in every peg. And yeah, what a lovely day. I've already seen 3 fish cruising about on the surface, and I heard a big bosh out that way towards them snags. So here I am plotted up. I got the left hand rod and the middle rod going out that way, and I've got them rods about 14 foot apart. I haven't put any bait in yet, but well I have. I've put about 30 baits in, just in between the seagulls. A bloody nightmare. Literally they will get every boilie, and I've only managed to get them baits in because those other 2 guys, I'll zoom in over there, you see them? I think there's pegs 11 and 12, I'm not sure. They were putting a bit of bait out with a catapult, which allowed me to in between the gulls quickly chuck a few out and get a few just out there. So yeah, I managed about 20-30 baits in the last hour or so. So I got a bit of bait out there, better than nothing. But on nightfall I will be getting another ½ kilo out. So as I was saying, them 2 rods, the middle rod and the left hand rod, are about 12 to 14 foot apart out there, and the right hand rod is out towards the shop back there. Can you see that? A little bit to the left of the shop should I say, and that's a bit longer. That's just 17.5 wraps just on the dot, and these 2 are about 16. So yeah, I've got the two spots spread apart nicely. I've already had a fish show over oh sorry guys, over the left hand rod and the middle rod. Fish come out twice, so that's pretty cool. And happy days. So I'm sort of going to roam about with the right hand rod if need be. I'm not sort of stuck on that spot, although it is a very nice spot. It went down nice and hard. I found it a couple of years back. It's a nice little hard spot just on the back end of a plateau. But if I see a fish, I'll be reeling that in. And oh, what's that down there? Is that bad? Yeah, it's a coot. You see him like going down near that tree. Little swine. Someone's obviously been putting a bit of bait in down under that tree. So yeah, the right hand rod I will be pinging it about if need be. There's no one on this side of the bank. So yeah. So I'm on the back of the wind as well, which is nice because it's some form of a northerly wind, or got some sort of northerly pushing through. It keeps swapping about. And it is pretty cold, to be honest. So imagine these fish should be on the back of this right now because it's still pretty cold. We're only in March. Sorry, no, we haven't. We're in the just turned April. Sorry, my bad. So we've just hit April now, and things are finally heating up. And I'm thinking they'll be avoiding that cold wind. So well, it feels a lot warmer over here anyhow. So if I feel warmer, hopefully the carp will. But things are looking good. So there you go, Willow Lake Fenland Fisheries. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get back down here because it is pretty choked up and fully booked for the next month or two. So we'll have to see. There's the reed line over there, which is pretty nice. It does a few good fish. I've had a couple of 30s from there in the past, 3 or 4 years back. Had a nice £32 common from over there, or 31.10. Real nice looking common, old. Yeah, and I've actually closed the peg off halfway down, right where them two trees are, dead centre of the camera. I've closed the peg off there now, so it's pretty nice. Well, it's been closed off for a little while. So happy days. I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to kick back now. I'm not even going to set anything else up. I'm just going to enjoy the sun and enjoy the peace and enjoy the birds chirping away and look at how good these rods look and how beautifully they went out. I'm already starting to think, is there any fish grubbing about out there? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. It feels right. So yeah, we shall see. And for now, I'll see you a bit later on. Look how lazy I actually am today. I usually always set my bivvy up first, get the house up really quick, well, especially in the winter times because the weather's so unreliable. But look up there, it's just warm. It's nearly 7 o'clock at night and I've still got no bivvy up. Awesome. So I've literally just been chilling old school, like treating it like a day session more or less. I've got everything loaded out the van now though, little stack there, bivvy in bed there, and I'm going to assemble that stuff right now, and I'll speak to you when I'm all sorted and we'll have a little chat and look at the lake in a bit. Look how beautiful it looks out there tonight then. Got quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow morning as well. So it feels really good for a bite. And we're just about bang on bite time now. It actually feels darker in real life than it looks on the camera, to be honest. Usually it's the other way around, but yeah, we've probably got about 15 minutes before it's pitch black, but yet still a lovely clear picture on the camera. But yeah, I said I'd have a little chat with you finally. Got the house up and everything. Still got everything spread out around there, but the house is up, the bed's up, Got a few bits to sort out, but the most of it's done, so happy days. Time to chill and watch the water and get a little bit excited, I guess. It feels like it's definitely going to happen. Not definitely, I don't mean in that way. I mean it feels very carpy. We're coming into not a bad moon phase now, a moon phase where they like to get their heads down. We've hit a little warm pocket of warm weather, and they finally just woke up on here on Willow Lake on Fennard Fisheries. It's about 15 to 16 foot out where I'm fishing, so you can see why it's taken this long to warm up. We're in the beginning of April now. I think it's the 2nd or the 3rd. So yeah, although usually this time of year it'd still be pretty cold. I mean, last year it was still freezing this time of year last year, but yet this year we've had an absolute awesome start. It's been good for all us carp anglers, I must admit. And now I'm sitting here in a jumper, not cold, enjoying the moment. Zoom you into them flying weasels out there. Still waiting to get a bit more bait in. But there you go. Another 10 minutes, I reckon I'll be able to get another half a kilo out. Not going mad on bait. Just been sort of steadily pinging out 3 or 4 baits with the throwing stick sort of every 20 minutes when I can in between the goals. The idea is to get about a kilo out there over the 3 rods. I'm using the 18s as well, so they go out really easily, really well. And obviously, you guys who've seen the bait, they find it hard to get an eye fixing on it. It's so dark once it goes in the water. It looks like a shadow dropping through the water. As well, if it was a brighter bait like the South and Mainline, they'd still nab that instantly. So it looks good now. I've just prepped a little margin spot to the right. I'll show you it tomorrow. Go and creep down, see if there's anything in there. There's an overhanging tree on the right. It's a little snag. It looks pretty safe to fish, to be honest. It's 1 or 2 underwater branches, but only very thin ones. I've decided to not drop the lead, so when I do put a rod there, I'm gonna just have a 2.5 ounce lead on there, only a small one, but I'm not dropping it. I don't want the fish to come up in the water through the water column. I want them to stay down deep under that snag. So that's a good little thing for you guys back at home. If you are fishing snags, just fish, and you can do it and you're not fishing it at range, try and fish a smaller lead and not drop it. It stops the fish peeling up to the surface so quick, so you can bend them out of the snag first. So that's my bit of advice for snag fishing: light leads and don't drop them. Obviously have the tail rubber on, so if it hits something it can drop, but not on the initial take. Yeah, you can just get that rubber just right so you get the best of both worlds. Look at these gulls. God, it's just been consistently all day. Let me get some bloody bait out. Flying vermin. Oh, that coot's coming out now. He's coming to get some bait now. Never ending for these little workers. That little coot there is obviously getting ready to have his chicks, no doubt. They become savagely aggressive and greedy this time of year. Little blighter. So right, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to stick the kettle on now and have a cup of tea and watch the water, and hopefully it'll happen. If it don't, I'll be surprised, but there's a possibility it is carp fishing after all. But I feel like I should get a 30 out this session. If I get a 30, I've done well. If I get a couple of 20s, I've done extremely well too. So we'll have to wait and see, and I'll speak to you in a bit. So guys, you join me here in day 2 at Willow, and I'm not best pleased really. Hasn't gone according to plan. Carp have been carp and absolutely done me over. I'm sure I've been done throughout the night or early this morning. I had fish feeding over me for about 4 hours. Well, not actually directly over my spot, but on the back of my spot, probably 20 to 50 yards on the back of it, spread over a big area. There's a big congregation of fish, and I don't know whether they just never quite got to my rigs, or they just fed on the back of my spots, because I put a lot of bait in last night and the wind was behind me, but I put it out with a stick, so I wasn't being too accurate, so it sort of scattered about everywhere. I wanted to get the fish in the general area. Well, that worked, but then what I didn't do is put enough bait in neatly round the rig, which yeah, I just didn't know how much they'd be having it. So I've changed tactics now. I pulled all 3 rods in about half an hour ago. I weren't happy, don't get me wrong, all 3 rigs come in perfect. Everything was sitting right, everything was right, you know. I should have got a bite, for some reason I haven't. So I've swapped all the colours over, I've swapped all the rigs over. I've now put a choddy rig on the right hand rod and put that out at 19.5 wraps. There's no one on this side of the lake now, so I went long with that because the fish have been showing further out. On the other 2 I decided to come back a bit. I was at 16.5 wraps. I've now moved it back to 15.5, where it's a little bit firmer and a little bit less detritus and dead leaf. And I've actually got the spom out, and at 15 wraps or so, I put about 7 or 8 midi spoms full up to the brim, just over 2 rods, and I've put the left hand and the right rods are still 12 to 14 foot apart. So we'll see what happens. I put a kilo of bait out in the end with the stick and 18s, and they've definitely been eating it. I've been watching them enjoy eating it all day. There must have been 30 shows, and you can see they're bubbling up. They're getting excited. They're on the bait. Obviously with the wind behind me last night, I had to wait until dark because the seagulls, obviously I put the baits out a little bit further on the back of the spot, and they just haven't quite got to my rigs. But tonight's going to be a very different night. I've got the traps reset this afternoon, and I'm feeling good. I even feel like, I know I probably will eat these words, but I really feel like all 3 rods could go. You know, ideally in my world, in my terms, how I'm thinking now, I know it's a bit bizarre, I should have a 30 on every rod by tomorrow morning. Probably never going to happen, but it feels right. Everything feels right tonight. It feels much better tonight than it did last night. Although I'm not going to lie, I thought I was going to pinch a bite last night or early this morning, and I didn't. But like I say, got the traps reset, had a real little think about, got things changed about, changed rigs on all 3 rods. I'm fishing differently now altogether, and we'll see what happens. And I'll give you a little update soon. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and make some munch, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Well guys, talk about that good feeling and these good feelings I keep getting. So it must be just over an hour since I last spoke to you, and I told you I had to change about on all 3 rods. Everything changed completely. complete different tactics, knowing that I've still got a lot of bait on the back of my spots to bring the fish in originally. So there you go. Did you see that on camera? Maybe you did. Right on the spot. So I've just had a fish, of course. Let's get to the point. Get in there. Loving life. Do you know how happy I am now? I've gone from sad to happy in 10 minutes. I'm loving it. So got the fish in a retainer. Just popped it back in the water, let it get its breath back and everything. Made sure the fish was okay. And then the bite actually come on the left hand rod on the double spot. Not the choddy. The left hand rod on the double spot. So happy days, and it bit of a twitchy take, and then it just ripped off and put up an epic fight. And I've got a nice ghost carp, or a ghost common should I say. It's a real old fish as well. It's one of the original Stockings ghosties. This fish is 20 odd years old, and loving life. Never caught it. One of my friends has caught it a few years back. It's a real nice fish, nice and long, chunky, proper old warrior, just how I like them. So I'm so happy, made up proper. It just changes things completely to get a fish this early on. It now, with the rest of the night ahead and tomorrow morning, which mornings has been bite time, so it was a bit of a bonus bite to be fair. I feel like I can move on from this night without no fish now, and maybe turn it into a session of 2 or 3 bites, because I can feel another couple of bites coming. So fingers crossed, of course. It's carp fishing, you never know, but I don't really care what happens now. I've got that little beauty in the retainer. So happy days. I'm going to stick the waders and everything on now and get the scales out, and we're going to have a look at her and see what she goes on the old scales, and I'll see you in a bit. Oh, there we are guys. I've got that lovely fish out of the water now. Just weighed her, just under 23 pound. Nice big chunky ghost common. Proper result. Real old fish. One of the originals. It just hasn't grown that big, and there she is. Just under 23 pound. Nice ghost carp. Lovely. I find it hard to see properly at the minute because the sun is absolutely beaming. It's a beautiful day, but I'm not too worried whether you guys are getting good recording or not, because I just wanted to look at it in the sun. It looks amazing. There's a head-on shot. See, it's proper ghost light. Real long fish, chunky as well. I thought it was going to be a bit bigger than it was, but happy days. Got a lovely big paddle on it. Look at the tail. Beautiful big tail. Proper made up. Little parrot mouth. Ski slope head. Loving life. Going into this evening's session now feeling very confident. Made a few changes and obviously it's paid off. Lovely fish. Nice little ghost carp. Awesome. I'll show you the other side. The other side's absolutely perfect. That side's got a scar on, probably were spawning over the previous years. So this fish is a real old fish. Plenty of water in this hot sunlight. Although we're only in early April, it still feels pretty darn warm. And there she is again. Let's get her up. There you go. Absolutely perfect on this side. Beautiful. What a stunning little fish. Proper old character. And it really did put up a fight. It went to the side of the lake, to the left hand corner pretty quick. It knew what to do, trying to rub it off on the clay shelves close in. And it got under the rods and it absolutely beat me up for about 20 minutes. Couldn't do nothing with it. So epic, loving it. So happy with this. She could have just made the trip worthwhile. Hopefully there'll be another one to follow, who knows. For now I'm going to put this beautiful little beat up carp back. She's definitely been through the wars. You see her mouth look, she's been caught plenty of times in her time. But I just love it even more just to know that she's that clever and she's still tripped up to me. Loving life. Right, I'll speak to you in a bit. There she is. Beautiful ghostie. One of the original ghosties. Loving it. I think there's only 2 original ghosties in here, from what I know. Oh, so nice to get that after not coming here for, I've been here for over 2 years now. To get an old original fish. I'm amazed. It looked a lot bigger than the 23 mark. Don't get me wrong, look at it in the sling. It looks every bit of 26 pound. But obviously, yeah, it's got a bit of weight to put back on. Real thick back, it's just an old male. Huge pecs, look at the size of the pecs on it. Great big huge paddle at the back. Proper unit. Real nice chunky fish. It's taking its time to go, I'm not going to rush it. That'll go when it's ready. So you know it's an old fish. I've had it down here now for 10 minutes and it still don't really want to go. And there you go. She's finally ready to go. And look how clear the water is now. It's literally like tap water. Let's turn around. I don't want it to go too quick. There we go. Don't want to get her face on that zip. Oh, she looks beautiful in this clear water, doesn't she? Look at that. Wow. You ready, girl? No? Still not ready. You can't beat a good ghost carp. I don't think I've had many ghosties over 25 pound, to be fair. So it'd be nice to get a 30 ghostie in the coming future. There's definitely one on the target list. Look how long she is, look. Proper unit. She looks like a 30, doesn't she? It's mental, eh? You ready now, girl? Just trying to keep her coming up and down, just to keep a bit of flow going through the gills. Real old fish this is, you've got to take care of them. Won't release her before she's ready to go. Until she kicks out of that retainer herself. Which she looks like she's just about to finally do. Her nose is out. And she's just quite happy just sitting in there. There's nothing stopping her going, by the way. Sorry guys. There's nothing stopping her going. Only her own free will. She's happy sitting there. I'm happy sitting there watching her. This water's so clear. It's the clearest I've ever seen it over here at Willow. When I fished here 2 years ago it was clear, but it weren't this clear. It's literally like tap water that you can see right down to the bottom in like 10 foot. So hence why the fishing's probably a bit tricky. You can just see everything right now. Stunning fish. She must be getting ready to nearly go now. It's been 15 minutes now. There she goes, she's having a little kick about now. Go on, girl. Just let her keep freely moving. The net's nice and soft on her skin. Keep a bit of flow going through her gills. Oh, and there she finally goes. That was the last one. Beautiful. Down to the depths. Look, you can still see her just about down there in 10 foot. And she's gone. Actually, she's gone on camera, but I can still see her. So happy days, and I'll give you a little update soon. And I'm going to have a little pack away now and sort a few bits out. Look at that, guys. Proper munch. So you guys know my favourite Nando's chicken and pita breads. But that's not the reason why I switched the camera on. As if that weren't enough of a treat. 10 minutes ago while I was cooking it. Another fish. Not sure how big. It's a nice common. It's definitely over, I imagine it's around the 23 to 25 pound mark. Same sort of size as the other one. Happy days. Middle rod ripped off, one time melter, and there's still a bit of fizzing up going on, so really confident going into tonight's little escapade, and looking forward to it. Got a good moon phase coming tonight, much better than last night's, and I feel like I've cracked the code now. 2 years of not being here, I think I've cracked the code in 24 hours, and that's what it's about. It's not about what you do, it's about knowing when to do it and what needs changing to get that bite. And I quickly made changes, and I quickly have two bites within 2 hours of each other. So happy days, and I shall see you shortly for pics. So guys, here we are with that common I spoke about. Lovely fish, bit bigger than the last one, just under 25 this one. Real deep fish. Yeah, looks stunning actually. Beautiful colours on it. Yeah, really nice colours. I'll hoist her up, or him up. I think it's a male fish, and we'll have a look. And there you go. What a nice common, eh? Much deeper than the last one I had. The other one is definitely an original ghosty. This one looks a little ghosty like, but I'd say this is a newer stock in the last sort of 3 or 4 years. But real nice common, made up with this. Second bite of the night, or the day should I say, and we've still got tonight to go, and half of tomorrow, so epic. Ringing in the changes has definitely paid off. The smallest things make such a difference. So it took me 24 hours to crack this code on Willow, and I'd safely say it's cracked. And who knows what tonight will bring. One more bite and it'll be an extremely good session. I'm going to turn her over now and let you have a look at the other side. Oh! Beansy's being well behaved. Put up such a good fight. I mean, a real good fight. Much better than the other one, to be fair. This just went berserk. Ah. There you go, here's the other side. Absolutely mint on this side. So yeah, loving life, 2 20s in one day. Ah, geez, I've had a lot of 20s this year already. I think I've probably had 16 different 20s this year, and the year's barely started. So happy days. Hopefully we'll maybe get onto 1 or 2 of the bigger girls soon. Fingers crossed, but I don't mind catching these. God, a nice big 20 common. Love it. What a stunner. Get in there. Right, I'm gonna slip him back because he's been so well behaved, and I shall speak to you soon. Right guys, that pretty much wraps up part 1 at Willow Lake, Fendon Fisheries. So I had a good session. You've seen the nice fish I had. Really happy with that. Beans, I ain't been here for a good, well, just over 2 years in fact. So it feels good to get fish on the bank straight away. And you'll join me next week, and I'll be back for an overnighter, and we'll see how we fare. But until then, I'll see you then.